Hello everyone, welcome to SwitchUp, and we've got a new series for you today based on our sales series that we do every Sunday. But what we're going to do is every so often between us we're going to have a look at 10 games that are currently on sale for at the very minimum 50% off and give you 5 picks each.
Exactly right, very well said, Glenn. And if you want to save 10% more on these, then you can use code SwitchUp over at switchup.gg to buy your eShop credit. And I know for the mathematician who's sat there going, it won't be exactly 10% off. I know, it's not how it works, but
we get the idea, yeah.
Exactly, you get the idea. With all of that said, what is on sale for 50% or greater? Well, let's find out.
Okay, right, I'll start then. My first pick is Mortal Kombat 11, and this is the Ultimate Edition, if you like. It's got, all the trimmings thrown in there. So for that, obviously you get Mortal Kombat 11, which is an incredibly good game. It runs very well on the Switch, although you do have to compensate that with a lot of blur in the images. So if that doesn't interest you, obviously play it elsewhere. But if you want it on the go, it does do very well aside from that. But this Ultimate Edition has some of the extra characters. You have the T-800, Robocop I believe is in this one, and Rambo as well. But it also has the Aftermath expansion storyline, which really does add to the story that 11 tells, to the point where I believe that the Aftermath ending is going to be the canon that's taken forward into the next game. And it also has Shang Tsung is voiced, and his likeness is it's the actor Kari Hayuki Tagawa, who actually played him in the 1995 movie. So it's fantastic just having that reference in there as well.
Brilliant. All right, well, my first one is Hand of Fate 2, which you reviewed for us, Glenn.
I did, yeah.
You are looking, you're looking at its cheapest ever price. At the moment, it's just £5. That's a bargain, isn't it? £5.65.
Yeah.
Now, this combines, if I remember your review correctly, this combines kind of a deck building mechanic, but also where you have to go out and fight. Is that correct?
Yeah, so you play along with the cards. You have like a dungeon master of sorts that's telling the story in front of you, and then you'll play out the journey through the cards, which is it's handled very well. It's done to good effect.
Brilliant. Well, it's, as I say, it's its cheapest ever price at the moment. You're looking at around about 30 to 50 hours of gameplay as well, so it's proper chunky. So yeah, that's one that I would highly recommend on its cheapest ever price until October the 2nd.
Lovely. Right, my next one, this one does run out in a couple of days' time as of the launch date of this video, so it's the only one that I've picked that has quite a short expiry date. But it's Yomawari The Long Night Collection, which bundles together 2 games in the Yomawari series. It's another one we have reviewed if you want the full story. But these are like top-down horror games where you play as a young girl who's lost. In the first game she's looking for her dog, and in the second game she gets separated from her friend at a fireworks night, and obviously there's some strange goings on in the town. You have like a torch that you're looking around with. You have to hide when enemies appear. There's like a heartbeat rate that beats as they get closer, just to kind of freak you out. They're very well done, and it's currently I think it's 67% off this one. The reason I picked it though is because this one physically is very hard to find these days, certainly in my region at least. So if you are a physical collector, you may have missed the boat on this one. It goes for kind of north of £100, so it might be worth picking it up digitally if you did miss that.
Fantastic. And that one has a sequel on the way, I believe, from NIS.
It's out at the end of October, yes, you're right.
Lovely. All right, so my next one is the sequel to the game I mentioned on Sunday, and it's Doom Eternal. Now, everyone knows what Doom is. We kind of know that Doom Eternal is everything dialed up to like 29. It's absolutely brilliant on Switch. I think some people were lamenting that the visuals aren't quite as good as PC, and come on, like for what we've got here, it's very impressive. Now, if you liked Doom 2016, you're very likely to enjoy this. My only takeaway would be that it does opt for more aerial maneuvers, so you can grapple onto certain things, and in fact there's an expansion for this as well that I've played, that you can buy, a DLC called The Ancient Gods, which is also 50% off. This is very good, but it does rely a bit too heavily on that aerial maneuverability, which from a first person perspective isn't great. But at the moment, 67% off, down to £16.49 or your regional equivalent. I would highly recommend this if you have the SD card to fit it on. It's 33 gigs.
Yeah, that's a chunky old game, isn't it? Right, my next one then is Wonder Boy the Dragon's Trap. This is 60% off as it currently stands, and this is the remake that they made for the Master System game from way back in the day. What I loved about this, I played this quite a while ago now on the Switch, and you have the beautiful hand-drawn graphics obviously that they've gone with for this particular game, but at the push of a button you can switch to the old style as well, and I always appreciate when they take the time to implement that in a remake. You know, it just adds a little bit of charm to things, and this is a great game. It's like an adventure game. I won't use the term Metroidvania, but by saying that, I'm sure you get the idea that there is some backtracking, and you know, you'll need to revisit certain places. You play as different animals, all with different strengths and abilities, and it's just an incredibly enjoyable and charming game for, at the minute, a very good price.
Ideal. Different strengths of different animals, yeah? Nice. My next one is another one that you've reviewed. This is a weird theme going on.
Yeah.
But very often I watch the games that you review and I'm like, man, I really want that. So City Skylines at the moment is 75% off. It's down to £8.99, like £8 for this. This isn't one of your game picks, is it?
No, I haven't picked this one, but I would fully endorse it. Very good game, yeah.
Yeah, it's got there's no competitor, is there? It's just you gradually building up your city and getting larger.
Yes. There, it's very much your Sim City type game. Some people complained about the fact that on the Switch version, as you get further into it, it starts to chug. But I suppose that's what sales are for, isn't it? You know, you can swallow a few of those imperfections when it's cheaper. You know.
Exactly right. Yeah, and you've got to do all your power grids and things like that, haven't you?
You do. Yeah. It's very much Sim City in that respect.
Yeah.
You know, you build it up. You have like the different seasons and things as well, which always just adds a little bit of charm, seeing the snowfall and stuff as your city grows. It has some of the famous landmarks that you can add into your city. It's a really fun time, this one.
Good stuff. Yeah, I've got this on PC but not on Switch. So yeah, it's good to hear it's still worth picking up there. But at 75% off, that goes on until October the 2nd, and it's only 2.2 gigs to download.
Right, my next one is Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, the game. Now, this is only available in some regions, unfortunately, but at 67% off what's already a relatively cheap game, to be fair. I couldn't not pick it, I'm afraid. But this is a beat 'em up, of course. It came out, I think it was about 2010 originally. It was on Xbox Live. It never got a physical release back then, and it's one of those games that, you know, in terms of game preservation, it was quite concerning when it was taken off of the live service. So it did get a re-release about a year ago now, give or take, and it does have a physical release, albeit I believe it's via limited run games, which is unfortunate. It would have been nice if it was a full retail release, but it is a fantastic beat 'em up. It's very much about crowd control. It has that sort of feel about it. Up to 4 players. It's kind of got that, obviously, that retro style, pixel style, but it's that modern retro that almost becomes like ageless. You know, it's 12 years old now, but it could have been made yesterday. You know.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice. Okay, my one then, one that's probably lesser known, is a little game called Roki, which is an adventure puzzle platformer that starts out with, I don't want to spoil it, but essentially you have to go searching for someone important to you, let's just say that. It's all set around this like mystical fairy tale forest with these large creatures. I'm sure there's some mythology, or, you know, some... I think it's from, it feels like Scandinavian mythology or something like that. Okay. So you'll have to correct me in the comments, people that know more than me. But it was really good storytelling. Very hooked me in straight away. I was actually quite surprised in that regard. But if you're a fan of your adventure games, you kind of know this is a side perspective 3D adventure. There's some unusual characters that you'll meet along the way. You know, large deities like a giant bear in the middle of nowhere, and this horrible troll that lives under a bridge. But really lovely little game. I don't know if this has got a physical. I don't think it has. But at the moment, it's just £6, £6.11. Everyone always says, what's a quid? A quid is a pound, a Great British pound, by the way. But it's £6.11 until October the 2nd. It's well worth checking out if you like the look of it. About 10 hours long.
Lovely. Okay, my last one is The Sinking City, and I've gone for the deluxe edition, which is currently 80% off. Now, this is another game I reviewed a while back, and it's an adventure game, like a third-person adventure game. I suppose just in terms of, to give you some sort of idea if you've never heard of it, like the Arkham Asylum or Arkham games in terms of the way you'd move around, there's some detective or investigative parts similar to those games, but not quite as action driven, more of a narrative adventure. Or it's a Frogwares game actually, so I suppose their Sherlock Holmes games would be a better example. But it's based on H.P. Lovecraft, very much gives me vibes of something like Shadow over Innsmouth. In fact, I think Innsmouth may even be referenced, the town of Innsmouth, in this game.
Right.
One of my criticisms of the game when it released, there are some performance issues, but again, it's 80% off, I mean, how much do you want for that price? But the other one was the fact that because it had been out elsewhere by the point it released on the Switch, I felt it was a bit greedy of them to charge more for the deluxe edition. They kind of could have just put that in with the game as a, here's the full package, have it sort of thing. But again, at this price now for the deluxe edition, that criticism effectively becomes null and void. Yeah,
perfect time to pick it up on sale.
Absolutely.
All right, well, my last one then, I've gone flipped through a few back and forwards, is The Graveyard Keeper. Do you remember that one?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, very quirky little game.
Yeah, I love this one. This is really cool, kind of macabre. You get dead bodies delivered to you and you have to take the organs out and you can sell them and then throw the body in the river, or you can package them up nicely and bury them. It's slightly unusual, but it is, without sounding like a cliche, it is very much Stardew Valley meets looking after a graveyard. It's weird. This is another one that seemed to divide opinion. It has a Metacritic of 65%.
Right.
I scored it way higher than that. I thought it was brilliant. I guess its core mechanic kind of clicked with me.
Yeah.
You do find yourself, there is a storyline. You do kind of find yourself as the Graveyard Keeper after an unfortunate incident. I won't spoil it. There is a load of DLC as well. There's one based on Game of Thrones, one based on Stranger Things, there's one based on Breaking Bad. They're all reduced in price as well. But I would say check out the full review of this one. I'd say for £9, 50% off. There's a lot of gameplay here and a lot of enjoyment. And in a strange way, this could go into a relaxing games list. You can just chill. It's all of those kind of farm life games, aren't they? They're designed to be played out over, long sessions.
Yeah, definitely. And it's this one is interesting in the fact that it takes that tried and tested formula and does mix it with something that is, as you say, so macabre. It is quite strange, but it does work, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. So that is it, I think, isn't it?
That's 10. Yep.
Nice. That was too easy. Brilliant. All right. So as always, do let us know in the comments what you've been playing. We will choose someone and give away a free game, as we do in all our sales videos. Just leave your comments down below and let us know what you've been playing.
Lovely stuff. Don't forget, if you are, as Mark said at the start, looking to get any of these games or anything else for that matter, you can get your eShop cards from our website, switchup.gg. Use the code SwitchUp for 10% off. And there's also a link down there to Play Asia. Won't help you in regards to this sale, of course, but it's down there if you want to get any imports. Use the link, use the code, and you can get 5% off of an order from there.
Fantastic. All right. So thanks to our patrons and to all of you that enjoy the content. And as always, for all things Switch, all the time, keep it Switch up. Cheers, guys. See ya.